It is an intimate relationship with the whole universe, isn't it? I mean, it's inside you. It is even too distant a way of putting it. You know, it's just through and through. Incredible, incredible.
Yeah, it's been a huge change. It's when I'm a little thing, and like Douglas says, you're up against things, and then suddenly you see, oh, I'm capacity for everything, and everything is in me. It is a very intimate relationship, and it's a very different relationship to how you were before, where you felt you had to struggle and stuff. And so the feeling is more these days, everything comes to me, and so not so many times that I want this, I want that. It's like, let's see what's happening next. It's a totally different attitude.
Yes.
So let's see what is being presented now. And so in a new situation, I'll be going, oh, what's happening now? I'm looking out and I'm not going, oh, what's happening now? I hope it's not going to hurt me, kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like, used to be my attitude. Now it's like leaning forward and going, what's happening now? And interested and, you know, open to seeing what's there. And so that's why people are new, and people who do notice me notice that. It's like she's not sort of being all cautious, she's sort of happy for me to be how I am, kind of thing. So it's a new way of being with people. It's more trust in the world for me as a result of it, rather than fear of the world.
Yes.
It's been a big change.
Calls forth, like I hate setting boundaries with people in a strong way, and I noticed last month in California I was just setting such strong boundaries. Again, it was not what I wanted to do. I wouldn't choose to be like that. And I was setting strong boundaries, and it was working, and it was beneficial. Like everything was, it calls forth
what you need to do.
It calls forth, even if I don't like it. It calls forth. Yeah.
Anyone would have to do that in California, sure.
Well, you do if you go back to your family sometimes, you have to set a few boundaries.
Definitely.
I guess it's that resistance you were talking about, Richard. Just sometimes you do have to resist. You have to say no.
Yes.
That's just not on.
Yes. Yes. Important. Yes.
And I tend to find less guilt then.
Yes, me
Yeah.
too.
It's just like, no, I don't want to do
Yeah,
that.
it's very clear. You just see that.
I'm not going to enjoy that.
This won't go anywhere.
Yeah,
this
that's pointless. Or,
It was-
isn't helping anybody.
Yeah.
yeah,
There was a whole discussion that was not going to go anywhere no matter how we did it.
yeah,
I'm not doing this
Yeah.
discussion. I can't see how it could possibly go anywhere no matter how creative and how we did it, and I'm not doing it.
yeah.
And your opinion about whether you want to do it or not is irrelevant. Just do it to the pole.
Tell it to the hand.
And then it was perfect. 4 hours later, if I had let that happen, it would have been awful.
Yeah, both exhausted, both traumatized.
Yeah, that would have been awful.
Yeah.
So I got to keep, when I'm following it, I get to see what would have happened if I didn't. And think,
Yeah.
which one's love?
Exactly.
You know?
I had to do that with my dad the other day because Dad is a total right winger and thinks that global warming is a left wing plot. And we started talking about it, and in the end I said, look, Dad, we have to agree to disagree. And I love you. And it's like, that was the thing that I needed to say, because underneath, that's probably what he's trying to do. If I agree with him and then I love him, that's probably his psychology, maybe. But it's like, I love you anyway, and let's just disagree, because
This isn't going to go anywhere.
it's no point talking about it.
In a way, seeing is that, isn't it? At a profound level, you agree with everyone because there's no room for disagreement here. But at the human level, most of the time you disagree.
It's just with some people you have less disagreement than others. Those people you call your friends.
It's just a mind arguing with a mind.
Yeah.
Nobody wins in that
That's right.
situation. But if you can be here and well, supposedly argue with the mind, then it changes the whole dynamic.
Yes.
So I wonder how the Taliban is going to come to this result.
Well, late, I would think.
Yes, it doesn't seem to be, they don't seem to be in a roaring hurry, do they?
Perhaps you can do a
but,
few
I mean,
workshops with the Taliban.
thank you.
Take out
Decapitation.
insurance and name me as your benefactor.
That's the way they'd see Headless.
Yes. But I mean, the thing is that we are doing a workshop with them now in a way, aren't we? You know, because it's only one consciousness, and there's no boundary.
And it's not, I mean, Taliban is not an unusual group. There are so many groups that have their idea is right, that's the way it has to be. I was brought up Catholic, it's exactly the same attitude. We are the right religion, we are the safe people.
The Taliban just have a very proactive outreach department.
Well, in a way, I see the Taliban as just doing what Catholics did in the 1600s.
Yeah.
And they're about as old
Oh yeah.
as the Catholics were in the 1600s. In the 1600s, the Catholics thought, right, let's go and invade the Muslim world and make them be Catholics because they're wrong.
And it'll be good for them.
So they started the Crusades.
Yes, I mean,
It just takes that whole idea, like, it's just an illustration of holding a mental, fixed mental position is a totally violent thing, no matter what the fixed mental position is.
yes.
Say that again. That's good.
Holding a fixed mental position is a violent thing.
It's inherently
Is it just
violent.
Us against them. you
Yeah,
know.
it's just like,
I'm right and you're wrong.
yeah, I was brought up Catholic, that was a fixed mental position.
I get
You know,
it, okay.
same attitude, everyone else is wrong,
It's a violent
we are
thing,
right. You know, that whole joke about, you know, sky goes to heaven. It's being shown around by St. Peter. He passes this walled garden. And he says, oh, who's in there? He says, oh, that's the Catholics. They don't think anyone else is in here. It's just the same. The Taliban are unusual. And it's interesting because my Irish Catholic father will ring up and rave to me about the Taliban. I'm thinking, your religion is just the same.
Yeah, but that religion has evolved. This one's now gone back.
Still has the same basic attitudes though.
Seeing who you are, seeing you're not in any group. Or, you know, you're not
Yeah, you're not in a group.
in a group. All groups are in you.
And the big thing for me was seeing that my opinions change all the time.
Yes.
That just to see that and not have, I think people find that really hard because having grown up in quite a fanatical religion, because Irish Catholicism is very superstitious and there's certain things you just have to believe and there's certain no-go areas. And actually as you get older gets more and more painful to try and hold those ideas and stick to them, even if you were brought up from a very little child believing that that is how you have to be, and to not say those ideas are okay is to A, go against your parents, B, go against the rest of your family, and C, to deny your nationality, which is, for some reason, even though I was brought up in Australia, it was Irish. It's like, to deny Catholicism was to deny your country that you came from. It's like, for some reason, that Irish Catholicism got totally tied up with the identity of being Irish.
Irish nationalism.
Yeah. And so you just could not go away from it. You would walk away from everything that you had grown up with if you walked away from it. And that is a big challenge to have to do. That's a very hard thing to do.
Like you're saying, I mean, you're basically saying you've got to buy the whole package.
You have to buy the whole package or you're out.
Yeah, yeah.
And that is, there are so many groups like that.
Yeah.
And I found so many groups like that afterwards.
Yeah.
And
Well, what we got involved with the Roach Mission was like that.
it was, yeah.
Kinda had
You
to
bought
buy
the whole thing, you bought the
And
bug
you had
one
to
was
buy the
always
most
right, or
essential
you were
thing,
out.
which was that the master could do no wrong.
Yeah,
The
The Pope is infallible after all.
that's right.
Yeah. And if you stop being able to hold that view, then
Then you
there
weren't
was
part
no
of the
room for
club
compromise
anymore.
on that.
You were negative.
And that is it's been an
You'd
interesting
gone negative.
experience of that.
You'd fallen under the influence of your own egoic impulses.
And just having these fixed ideas and trying to hold on to them does get difficult.
Oh, it's such a huge
It
effort.
really
such
is a
relief.
huge effort to do, and to stop and to see actually don't know what I think, and I'm going to be thinking something different probably next week, and you know, I'll be different tomorrow, and that is very honest, but it's also quite a challenge if you have quite fixed ideas that you've been taught to hold on to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, in the absence of this, of seeing this and being this, you are going to have to grasp straws, literally, aren't you?
Yeah.
You know, you're like a drowning person grasping straws, and you're going to be like a little bird that imprints on the first thing that it sees, whatever that is, and it's going to be very hard to let that go. I think trying to let go of any of that stuff, any of your opinion about yourself, without seeing this is actually very, very difficult, because you end up just
Very difficult,
retreating to more and more different parts of it. There's-
Even from here, I don't try to let go of my opinions. I just notice.
They're out there in the world.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, that's what I
That
call
they're-
letting go.
They don't have a location.
I'm
yeah.
just noticing they're moving around. It's more like I'm noticing that they're moving around, and then it's kind of cuckoo to.
Yeah.
And they just come. You don't have any control over it. They just come and they kind of go. Yeah.
When we were talking about fixedness is violence, it feels
It is, and it's a violence you do to yourself if you
Yeah.
try and have
fixed.
rules that you live by. And
Yeah.
you can come across all sorts of people. You can come across someone who is totally into bark flow remedies or traditional Chinese medicine, and they eat the right foods and they follow, and they have all of these rules they live their life by. They're doing just the same as I was doing when I was a Catholic. They have all of these rules, and sometimes you can see it's really hard on them, like the diet might not be good for them, or you know, they have to do this, they have to do that. And why? Why can't they just be?
Because it's part of an identity that they've built for themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
With seeing, I mean, I wonder if you're the same. It doesn't cross my mind to wonder whether or not you've got it. You know.
Good. Yeah.
You know, whether or not you're really seeing it. It used to. And that's because I used to associate it with a certain understanding. And so when I was going around sharing seeing, I was trying to get people to understand it in the same way as I understood it. So I'd say, so you can't see your head? No. Oh, I think you've got it, see. And when you walk, you don't move, the world moves. Oh, that's right. Oh, I think she's got it. She's really got it. And your mind is at large. Oh, I don't know about that. Oh, maybe she hasn't got it. Right?
Yeah.
You see? So what I was actually doing was equating the seeing with the understanding.
Yeah.
Now I've seen that isn't the case, that everyone has a different understanding.
Because everyone's set up a different way. I mean,
Yes.
I've talked a lot about how, for me, I've lost my fear of people since I became headless.
Yes.
And most other people, I don't sort of say that, because that probably wasn't a big issue in their life. For me, it was a huge issue. But other people have other issues, like one of my sisters really enjoys it because she feels she has to always be perfect. She's totally caught up in her appearance. And so when I said, look, you're just here and you're just capacity, so there's no question whether you should be here because you just are here, that was a total revelation to her, because she felt that she had to be the right way to earn being here. And that's not any way that I was set up to think about. It's like I've always accepted, yep, I'm here, so I must be meant to be here. And that was a completely new idea to her, because she's built up a whole different way of looking at the world to me.
Yes. So it was valuable to her in a different way
Yeah.
than you.
So for her, the appearances stopped being such a big... Cause she, like your thing about, you know, how I look is your problem. You said that once, Richard. So how you look is our problem, not yours. And she went,
I was having a bad
oh,
day.
really? So she didn't have to worry about it anymore, because it wasn't her problem.
Because Gurdjieff used to talk about
Struck her.
getting to know one's chief feature, and what he meant by that was the kind of nail on which your personality hangs.
Yeah.
And it's always some part of yourself that's problematic, usually, and the rest of your personality, the false personality, is a kind of coping mechanism around that. And I think seeing will show that to you, and it will be in that area that you know, it'll have its
That's
biggest
where you'll
effect
have
on
a
you.
lot of the insights
Yeah.
that frees you up from whatever that pain
Yes.
is you've got.
Yes, yes, that's where the learning happens, or the discovery.
I got in around this subject. I got totally stuck last month, and I was crying. I was in a lot of pain, and I'm in a lot of pain. And this guy who's seeing looks at me and he goes, "Do you know, Jesse? You can't be conventional and be awake at the same time." And then everything went, because I was trying to I don't know why I just said that sentence, and it was like getting pierced with an arrow, but it also made everything dissipate, and it made my behavior radically change. Because I was really trying to do something that I had some idea was
The right thing to do.
the right thing to do. And I was doing it with a lot of energy, and it wasn't working, and I was in pain. I mean, it wasn't making the world better, so I was in pain.
I think my chief feature is I always felt responsible for what everyone else around me was feeling, particularly with having a negative time. I remember this in the classroom. We had a very despotic and probably psychotic, looking back, teacher who just used to make life miserable. And I got pretty good at staying on this guy's good side, but I found it did no good because I suffered just as badly when he was cruel to the other kids. And I felt this sense of I'm responsible for this. I'm actually doing this in some deep way. Like kids feel responsible when their parents break up and that kind of thing. But and it's it sounds all touchy-feely, new agey, it's not. It's a dreadful affliction because it's a kind of conceit in a way, because you're placing yourself in a position of being, the controller or something, or the would-be controller.
Grandiosity.
Yeah, it's a fragment of grandiosity, and
From the victim position.
so seeing for me has been wonderful. Seeing that it all is just happening here as it's unfolding as it has to. And
Yes.
I am in a way responsible for it as the one, but not as this little one. So that was the mix-up.
Yeah.
That's a mix-up again.
That was a mix-up, and
Yeah.
it's always egoic confusion that the chief feature is based on. It's taking some aspect of the one,
Yeah.
and trying to apply it in the wrong place.